Hello, Mans Park. Ms. Mullins a couple weeks ago asked me to share a few things with Canvas, some of the things that I'm doing in my class. So I'd like to share a couple things with you. I've got my Canvas account pulled up. A couple things that you'll notice on my page is that I put my class expectations and everything about my class right here on the front page. And there is a way that you can set that. We'll talk about that at another training. A couple of things that I'm doing right now, though, is one, I'm organizing my curriculum in Canvas. And one of the nice things about Canvas is that you can have everything organized ahead of time. And I organize all of my stuff in what they call modules. So I'm going to click on modules here so you can see what I have. And I've got two major sections that I've dealt with so far this year. We did a unit on rational numbers, and inside this rational numbers unit are all of the activities that we had for that particular unit. Right now we're involved with dealing with equations and inequalities. So I've been able to pre-build a lot of the activities that I want to work through this particular 6 weeks. And you'll notice that the things that are this color, okay, those are the ones that have been published that the students can see. The ones that are in the dark color, those are the ones that I've created, but I have not published them for the students yet. So let's take a look at this first one right here where we had read and write expressions. What I did was I created something called a content page. And on this content page I provided a daily little thing that we're talking about. Today we will learn to read and write algebraic expressions. So it models the I will and we will things that we're working on in our class to frame our lesson. But then I also provide the students with my flip chart that I'm going to use and the assignment so they can always find those. So if a student is requiring note-taking assistance or any of those kinds of things, you can provide those with the students, and you can provide them to everybody, and you can just put them in here. Okay. So what this does is creates basically a PDF that I'm looking for, so I can save that wherever I need to. So I'm going to save that right here on the desktop so I can find it, and I just click on it, and then that allows me or the student just to be able to open up the lesson that we're doing that particular day. So that's one thing that I'm doing with my Canvas accounts. Another thing that I'm doing, if we were to go back to modules and go to evaluate expressions, on some lessons I also provide a YouTube video for instruction for my students, and I record them very similar to what you're seeing on this particular screen here. And I just click this and it automatically goes to my YouTube channel for them to play a video, if this will work. There we go. So it automatically begins playing the video that I created for them for that particular lesson. Let's look at evaluating expressions. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. Now, how do we create these kind of pages? Well, in modules, they're very simple to create. Okay, as long as you're in the unit that you want to be in, you just click on the plus sign right here. And then we change this from assignment down to a content page. We just say new page, and then you put a title on it. And you can indent things if you want it to be right up next to the page, like a major heading, kind of like an outline, what we used to call an outline. You can have it right up next to the frame, or indent several levels if you want to include things underneath some of the other activities that you have. Say I don't want to indent, and just hit add item, and it will add it here at the end. And so this thinks it's a major page. So then to edit that, we just click on test page, click on edit, and now you can create whatever you want. You just come down here and you create things. If you want to attach a file, you can just come over here to this area where it says files, click on files, upload a new file, click choose a file, and then you just have to go find the file that you want. Let's say I wanted to upload that page that I just downloaded a few moments ago. I can just click on that page, hit open, it automatically sticks it there, and then I just have to upload the file. And then what it will do is it will automatically stick into the document that particular file. So all the student then has to do is click on that, and it will then open up for them. So that's one of the things that I've been doing with my curriculum. It allows me to pre-build all of the curriculum that I need, and all I have to do is hit publish for the student to be able to see it. For those of you that are using Google Classroom, you know you have to each day send out a message to the students to disseminate that information to them. Well, one of the nice things, all I have to do to make this page active is click this little cloud publish, and then my students can see that. One of the other things that I'm using Canvas for is for some quizzes. Take, for example, in my quiz area here, and I have this showing for the students so they can see it. I've added a couple of quizzes here. We just began a Helm unit just the other day, and so I gave them a pretest using Canvas. And what I want you to see is I want you to see the format of the quiz, and then I'll show you how to create one real fast. So when you start a quiz, the first thing they'll ask you to do is put a set of instructions. So we have the instructions in there, and then it will ask you to input your questions. So I want to kind of preview this one real quick so that you can see what it looks like. This was a little 5-question quiz. And what I did was I took an image of this question off of the original document and imported the image into the Canvas question number 1. So this was our question, and then I've got the answer choices. Simple as that. I just left it as 1 point. You can use any points that you want, any point value that you want for it, and Canvas can automatically grade that for you. And then here's the next question. This was one that's a really nice looking question. This is one of those where which situation is best represented by the following equation, and we have the equation here. So again, I took a picture of this using the same program I'm using to record this video called Snagit, and then I copy and pasted the answer choices in. And it looks very similar to the same types of tests that we're going to have with our common formative assessments, with any of the computer tests that they're going to have, starting in the 8th grade on, with like the end of course algebra test. They're all done on the computer. So you can see what they look like. So using these computers, it allows the students to be able to get the feel of what they're going to be expected to do later on with the end of course tests. Now, how do I create a quiz? Well, let's go back to quizzes here. And to create one, all you have to do is hit the plus button, and it will begin a quiz. So you title it, whatever you want to title it. Okay. Test quiz. Okay. And then you type in the instructions. Okay. Pass this quiz. So there's a good set of instructions. Most of ours can handle that. We can slide down here. We can say this is a graded quiz. Where do I want to put it? I can put it in assignments. Okay, that's typically where it is. Do I want to shuffle my answer choices so that we can prevent some cheating and copying? If it's a multiple choice, you can do that. You can also set a time limit. How long do you want them to take it? Do you want to allow them multiple attempts to take the quiz? You can. Let the students see their quiz responses. I've started to take this off. Okay, let the students see the correct answers. I've started to take off their responses so that they don't necessarily get to see it, because a lot of times my second period may copy and paste those in an email to another student later on down the day. Okay, so that's a choice that you can make as to what you want to do. Require an access code. Okay, if you click on this, then they're going to have to, whenever they hit take the quiz, they're going to have to enter a code in order to actually take the quiz, so that my second period class will know what the code is, but later on down the day, if they happen to go in here into quizzes, they can't pre-take the quiz or have somebody else take the quiz for them. So I just, one of those security issues. So then when we come to questions, we're in the questions section. You just hit new question. You can put this as question number 1 up here. Question number 1. It can be a multiple choice test, a true false, fill in the blank. Several different options here for your answer. And then you just type in the question. And if it's multiple choice, we come down here, type in the correct answer in this one, and then all the other possible answer choices that you could have on this particular question. Okay. And then if you need more answer choices, you can add that as well. Then hit update the question. And then we're ready for a new question, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then all you have to do is hit save, or save and publish if you want the students to be able to see it. So those are some of the things that I do with Canvas. There are many more things that this particular software program has available to us that we are, not even close to scratching the surface as to what this can do. But it's a nice, easy way to get information out to the students. So if you have any other questions, email me and I'll be more than happy to try to answer your question about Canvas.